You recognize this face next to me. His name is Bruce McGill. But if you've ever seen
Legend of Bagger Vance, Steven Spielberg's Lincoln, look it up. Bruce McGill, McGill. It's like a menu in a Chinese restaurant. You see all a couple hundred credits.
the show is 40 years old, did you ever think it would have a life of its own?
Well, yes, because it did, or I wouldn't have done it. I was season 2.
How did you know?
Well, it was season 2, and it was the hottest show in the world. And here's how you can tell. When they want you to do something, and they'll say there's no negotiation, it's the top of the show, take it or leave it. That's power.
Yeah.
And I got my part literally less than a day before I started shooting, because Dennis Hopper, who was a pretty big star, the show that I did was written for him. And he was sure they would cave and pay him more. They didn't cave. So 11 o'clock in the morning, LA time, I get a phone call. There's this great role on Miami Vice. We all know what Miami Vice was. But we can't give you a script, and if you want to do it, you have to get on a plane at 4 o'clock. I mean, that was barely time to pack and go to the airport. You know, LA, it can be 2 hours from where I was to get to the airport.
So did you have a feeling about this, that this could be a breakthrough for you?
No, I didn't think about it that way. I just was looking to do good and interesting parts, and I didn't do much TV at the time. And I knew the show, of course, and it had been a breakthrough show for network television. The look of it, the music, the soundtrack, just all of it. And all the people involved. And I knew Don from beforehand, and I knew Eddie Almos. We'd done a film together. And, I was looking for a job. Like, Eddie, you've been an actor. You know, if it's not just going to be horrible, you say, sure, I'll do it. I didn't realize the extent to which this role needed help. It was kind of underwritten. There was a suggestion of the character I played had been the Crockett of the Metro Police Department, which was called then Top Cop, and he'd cracked up. And the reason he cracked up, we find out in the episode, is that he put together a case against a really bad guy, Tony Arcaro, and Tony got off on a technicality. The judge let him walk.
That's the way it works now.
He went Flip City, vigilanted the guy, buried him in a wall. Now you cut to whatever, 15, 18 years later, and they're tearing down the house where he walled him up. So he comes out of the woodwork and shows up at the police station and tells Crockett and Tubbs, we're going to get this guy. And they looked me up and they realized I was this really hot cop. So my guy is cracked. And he's been I think the line was, he's in a lockup up in Lauderdale. I love the alliteration. He's in a lockup up in Lauderdale. And when he was up there, because they had me a few times in the writing do like a Groucho Marx or Peter Lorre, I don't remember which ones were scripted, but they only had a mild suggestion of it. So I decided that in order to make that cohesive and to make that work, every time my guy heard something he didn't want to hear, he'd snap into one of these characters that he watched in the lockup. All he did was watch old movies. So he had Walter Brennan, I forget who all I did, but I know Walter Brennan, Groucho Marx, Peter Lorre, and various impersonations is what they were. Just when things didn't go exactly his way, he would snap. And so I put it in every time I got somebody cut across my beam, which gave it consistency. And it was, they tell me, I don't know if it's true, but the most rerun and the most popular episode that they had in the years that it ran. So I knew that it was kind of tour de force performance, but as a ham actor, which when I say a ham actor, that's not a bad thing. We know what we are.
A little cheese to it.
Exactly. as long as you don't have cheesecake. But I never had the body for that. But I knew it was a meaty role. You know,
Well, I have to tell you something. I've been a fan of yours since Animal House
it was a pretty good job.
because the writing there, they wrote about my fraternity.
Yeah.
And so it's in.
You might not be surprised to hear that is the most asked question was Belushi really that crazy? And the other one is that was about my fraternity. So what that does is tell you that it hit a universality of that experience.
Yeah,
Because I go, no matter where I go, north, east, south, in the United States anyway, where the fraternity system is in play, people say with great regularity, that was just like my fraternity. And that was because they were smart guys and it was good writing.
So what's in the future?
I had just finished season 2 of a show, Taylor Sheridan show called Lioness on Paramount Plus, and I think they're still shooting, but I think it'll drop in October, and it's very well received. You know, the streaming now is a global deal, so it's very successful, and they're already talking about season 3. So if that comes up and I'm invited, I will do that.
That sounds good.
It's good stuff.
Something to look forward
Morgan
to.
Freeman, Nicole Kidman, Zoe Saldana, Michael Kelly, myself, and then a bunch of young, good-looking people that do all the real work.
Well, the cast is really talented.
It is.
It's almost guaranteed to make it a hit if the writing works.
I'll promise you this: Taylor Sheridan can write.
Yeah.
He is really good. We're done. Nice meeting you. Nice talking to you.
Okay, thank you.
My
Thank you
pleasure.
very much.